one of the most highly rated shows in all of Sylacauga is Toots' Tips with the great tipster himself, Jimmy Toots Holmes. We've been doing this a lot of years, haven't we?
It has been, we've done a couple of shows.
6 and 8 last week.
Not good, but you do every once in a while have a little slip.
But look at this, 96 up, 45 down.
That'll play.
It will.
That'll play.
And it's all brought to you, by the way, by the Huddle House. Huddle House on Highway 280. You love eating in there. You'll eat there sometime twice a day.
I did just let's see, what day was that?
Wednesday.
Sunday.
Oh.
I ate twice.
Oh.
I ate out there Wednesday before a big golf match, and we got harpooned out down in Alexander City. So, yes, I do eat there sometimes twice a day, especially when it's my time to cook. But, it's always good, and that's what makes you go back. If it's not good, you won't go back. If it's real good, you will go back, and sometimes more than once.
Oh, Shaddix is watching this morning. He'll never figure that one out. They got their Christmas decorations and stuff all out, and, Santa, he'll come strolling through there from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
And but any meal on the menu, 24/7. It's a Huddle House on Highway 280 in Sylacauga. I was talking to some of the girls out there recently, and those girls have made a career out of working there.
They have, Jim. I could probably name all of them. I'm afraid I'd leave one out and then make her mad. So, but again, they all good service, and they do a great job. And I was sitting there yesterday. Wednesday afternoon, eating me a big old hamburger steak and all that stuff. And my tea glass, I said, well, goodness, I hate to ask for some more tea. So I took the last 4 and set it down. Bam, there was a nothing. So they look after you pretty well out there.
This is conference championship week.
It is that.
And we got a bunch of them. And we began tonight with number 17, Western Michigan. Outside of Alabama, they're the only other undefeated team in the country.
And
play at Ohio.
Yeah, at Ohio. So it's for the conference championship.
Yep.
You can mark down Western Michigan.
Well, they play in Detroit at that big Ford field there. Now, Western Michigan's good.
Yes, they are.
And they're ranked number 17 in the nation. They play Ohio tonight. We'll take Western Michigan,
Absolutely.
I guess. All right. And tonight, too, the Big 12 championship, number 8 Colorado and number 4 Washington.
Well, Jim, I think the jury's been out a little bit on Washington. Do you think Michigan may be pulling for Colorado? Yes, they will. There's a lot of scenarios. I was watching that Tuesday night on ESPN about who was going to go where. And so a lot of things got to happen. So what if Colorado beats Washington? Does that put Michigan back in the top 4? What if Penn State wins out and beats Wisconsin? Where did they go?
A lot of people are questioning, even if Washington beats Colorado, they shouldn't get too comfortable in that 4th slot.
Well, everyone who's in the 4th slot's got a big football game ahead of them, which would be against the University of Alabama. But, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts that's going on now in college football. I think probably the best thing to do is extend that thing to about 8 teams. And then you could probably have the best 8 teams in the United States playing football against one another.
Now, the coach at Washington, Coach Peterson, he was at Boise State, and led them to an undefeated season. And he's at Washington now, ranked number 4, taking on Colorado. Colorado's come from out of nowhere.
They have. And, this is probably the first year they really had a real good football team. Washington, I've seen them play. And boy, I watched them play Washington State, and they got a pretty good football team too. But against the Buffaloes, I don't know. Boy, it's going to be a toss-up. But Just to throw a lot of controversy into the scenario, I'm gonna have to go with Colorado and see what this.
In an upset.
Yeah, see what this.
All right, go with the Buffaloes. Tootsie does.
Selection committee does.
TCU and Kansas State. That's a regular season game, and one of the few that are remaining. TCU's had a disappointing year.
They have, but last week they came on and just beat the brakes off Texas. So I don't know. I like TCU. They're a pretty good football team at times. At times they sort of like Texas was. So, but I'm gonna have to go with the Horned Frogs.
All right, take the Horned Frogs over Kansas State. Troy and Georgia Southern. Troy has had a really good year.
They have.
I think they've lost 2 games.
Yeah, Georgia Southern's not bad either.
Yeah.
They've played some of the big boys, and I don't know who Troy lost to. I think one of them might have been a 1A school.
Remember Irk Russell was at Georgia Southern?
And I remember also, what was the guy's name? He coached at Auburn and went to Troy.
Larry Blakeney?
Larry Blakeney, yeah thank you. I'm going to tell you, I just like Troy for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know the reason you like them.
Why is that?
Because Blakeney played at Auburn and went to Troy.
Good reason.
All right.
Circle Troy.
Number 19, Navy, plays Temple in a regular season game. And, Navy is one of those teams that a lot of the bowl people are hoping they lose.
Yeah. Well, for whatever reason, a lot of folks don't like these service academies to, go to their major bowls. Navy's had a good year. They knocked off Notre Dame, but a lot of people has done that. But I like the midshipmen to take care of them owls.
They run that wishbone.
Yes, they do. It's like a triple option offense. Easy for you to say. But they've done a pretty good job. The big one for them is, I think, December the 10th.
Yeah.
When I don't think it's going to be much of a football game, but they do play the Black Knights of Army on the 10th of December, I think.
It'd be the only dance on TV that day.
I think it will, and I think that's going to be O'Verne's. Is that going to be his swan song?
Could be.
I think they're going to do that.
I think they call this Bedlam or something like that in Norman, Oklahoma. Number 10, Oklahoma State, and number 9, Oklahoma.
And I think the winner is going to get the Sugar Bowl bid.
Maybe so.
And I really do think if Alabama takes care of business, Auburn's going to get a Sugar Bowl bid. I don't know if that's good or bad. But at any rate, I like the Oklahoma Sooners.
I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma State beats them. Well, they're playing really good football.
They are right now. Is that game in Norman? Or?
It is.
Oh, you got to go with
that
them.
wagon.
Yeah. They turned that thing over one time.
Oh.
But them little ponies pulling that Boomer Sooner around, and they'll probably have that old cowboy jug right in behind them.
That coach from Oklahoma State, he wears different hairstyle nearly every week. He different color and all this kind of stuff. But that should be a good football game.
It will, but I like the Boomer Sooners.
Okay, that's a 11:30 kickoff on Fox. So number 9, Oklahoma over Oklahoma State. West Virginia, ranked number 16, plays in at their home stadium in Morgantown. They played Baylor. Baylor started off 6-0. I don't think they've won a game since.
If so, it's only about one, I think. Not done pretty well. They remind me a lot of Texas A&M. They come out like gangbusters, but then sort of fizzle toward the end. Who they playing?
Baylor, West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
And that's in Morgantown, you say?
Baylor gonna get. I'm gonna throw this pencil off. Come on now.
I'm gonna have to go with the home team. Baylor has just not impressed me at all. West Virginia has.
That coach there. He was at what was that in the ACC. But anyway, he coached there. and retired, came out of retirement to take the job at Baylor, and he tells them this week, I'm done after the regular season.
Well, they're not going anywhere, that's for sure. With the record they got, I don't think if they get a bowl, it'll be
Wake Forest is where he was at.
Yeah, okay, Grove,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just don't see Baylor going to Morgantown. Yeah. It's going to be cold, you know.
Think so?
Yeah, possibility of snow and all this good stuff.
All right, let's look at number 6 Wisconsin taking on number 7 Penn State, and that's a conference championship. What is that, Big 12 or Big 10?
Big 10, I think it is, isn't it?
7 o'clock on Fox on Saturday night from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Well, supposed to be a regional site for the championship game. Penn State, guess what? They're the only one to knock off Ohio State. So I don't
what
know.
happens if Penn State beats Wisconsin?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. You're going to have a conference champion in a so-called Big 5 conference, maybe just going to sit at home.
Well,
Or what if Penn State wins, Washington loses, does Penn State jump Michigan? A lot of scenarios for this selection committee, Jim, to figure out. But as far as the football game, I'm going to have to go with the Badgers.
all right.
That'll save a lot of wear and tear on our selection committee.
Wisconsin. The ACC championship game.
Virginia Tech and the Clemson Tigers. Where is that played?
It's at Camping World Stadium somewhere.
Is that in Charlotte?
Probably.
Not sure. It doesn't matter. You know, Clemson's got a great football team. You know, I think, didn't Tennessee beat...
Now, Virginia Tech now is not a bad football team.
No, they're not. Didn't Tennessee beat them in Bristol, remember?
Yeah, a long time ago.
So, yeah, it was about the second or third game. But it doesn't matter. I just don't see nobody beating Clemson until they get into this playoffs.
You sure you don't want to circle that 23rd ranked Virginia Tech?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Clemson, ranked number 3. If the 14 playoffs started today, it would be Alabama versus who?
Washington.
Clemson and Ohio State. That's probably going to change.
Highly possibility.
Okay. Now, Alabama, a 24-point favorite
And deservingly
against
so.
Florida.
Yeah.
In the SEC championship game.
Florida's got a good defense too, Jim, but they have a, you know, I watched a little bit of the Florida State game, and Florida State just flat ran on them, and I just don't see Florida putting up a lot of points on Alabama's defense. Of course, nobody has, and I don't think nobody will. This is a real good, well-oiled machine over in Tuscaloosa, playing for Nick Saban. And you can I would just about go and say you can chalk up another national championship. This bunch is for real.
Jalen Hurts, who's a freshman quarterback at Alabama. Just for argument's sake, Jalen Hurts gets hurt. He's really 2/3 of the Alabama offense.
They'll bring in the Bateman kid, I believe he's the backup quarterback. He's a tough kid, Jim. I mean, you know, he adds a dimension to the offense at Alabama they've not had in a long, long time. And that's one who don't mind pulling it down and taking off with it. Florida will have to really come up with some kind of defense to account for where he's at.
So you just don't think that Florida can line up and play Alabama?
No, I do not think so, no.
Jonathan Allen, the All-American defensive tackle at Alabama, it is being said by that he's going to be an early first-round draft pick. And good thing about him, Allen could have went pro last year.
He could have,
come back.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've not counted it up. I'm not real big into Alabama football. But they have got about 9 kids. I think will go in the first 2 rounds.
Alabama going, Auburn going to the Sugar Bowl.
If Alabama takes care of their end of it, I think Auburn will be in the Sugar Bowl against either Oklahoma or Oklahoma State.
All right. Beauregard High School football, they won the 5A championship last night.
I watched that last night. They got a good football team. They got a kid named, was it Webb, I believe it is? Yeah.
He rushed for about 1,000 yards
He
last
had
night.
360 last night. They broke all the records, carried it 51 times.
And we've got a tie from Sylacauga on staff there, Beauregard.
Oh, yeah. Carson Greer Jr. He left over at BB
Did
Coleman.
you see him on the sideline last night?
I think I caught a glimpse of him, but it's hard not to see him. If he had a hat on, it might be a little different. Where he didn't, I don't know.
But Beauregard in the region with Sylacauga, and so it's good to see a region winner winning the 5A title.
It is, and they've beaten Sylacauga the last 2 years running.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 great running backs. The quarterback, Holmes is his name. He done a good job last night. And number 22, who's the backup for number 3, he comes in and he does a heck of a job when number 3 has to go out.
They really could have beat them more than the score indicated.
Well,
they
were
over several times.
Yeah, they ran up and down the field on pretty good. Turnovers was responsible for maybe the first, I think, of all of the points, 13 points that Winona got. But again, they got a good football team. And the kid is a junior.
Yeah.
So he'll be back to terrorize the district that...
Can't turn pro out of high school, can he? The Huddle House has presented Toots' tips throughout the college football season. Toots 96-45 going into this weekend. And it's always a pleasure working with you. And you keep doing good. The numbers you got, and probably $1.25 get you a cup of coffee.
At some places.
Yeah. Always a pleasure, Toots. Thanks.
Same here, buddy.
The Huddle House, always open, always fresh, presents Toots' Tips. More Daybreak after this.